Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my series reading The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. Without further ado, returning to The Invisible Man as read by Lord Naren White. Well, said Addie, white and grim and every nerve tense. Oblige me, by going back to the house, said the voice, as tense and grim as Addie's. Sorry, said Addie a little hoarsely, and moistened his lips with his tongue. The voice was on his left front, he thought. Suppose he were to take his luck with a shot. What are you going for? Said the voice, and there was a quick movement of the two, and a flash of sunlight from the open lip of Addie's pocket. Addie desisted and thought. Where I go, he said slowly, is my own business. The words were still on his lips when an arm came round his neck. His back felt a knee, and he was sprawling backward. He drew clumsily and fired absurdly. And in another moment he was struck in the mouth, and the revolver wrested from his grip. He made a vain clutch at a slippery limb, tried to struggle up, and fell back. Damn, said Addie. The voice laughed. I'll kill you now if it wasn't the waste of a bullet, he said. It said. He saw the revolver in midair, 6 feet off, covering him. Well, said Addie, sitting up. Get up, said the voice. Addie stood up. Attention, said the voice, and then fiercely. Don't try any games. Remember, I can see your face if you can't see mine. You've got to go back to the house. He won't let me in, said Addie. That's a pity, said the Invisible Man. I've got no quarrel with you. Addie moistened his lips again. He glanced away from the barrel of the revolver and saw the sea far off very blue and dark under the midday sun, the smooth green down, the white cliff of the head, and the multitudinous town, and suddenly he knew that life was very sweet. His eyes came back to this little metal thing hanging between heaven and earth 6 yards away. What am I to do? He said sullenly. What am I to do? Asked the Invisible Man. You will get help. The only thing is for you to go back. I will try. If he lets me in, will you promise not to rush the door? I've got no quarrel with you, said the voice. Kemp had hurried upstairs after letting Addie out. And now, crouching among the broken glass and peering cautiously over the edge of the study window sill, he saw Addie stand parleying with the unseen. Why doesn't he fire? Whispered Kemp to himself. Then the revolver moved a little, and the glint of the sunlight flashed in Kemp's eyes. He shaded his eyes and tried to see the source of the blinding beam. Surely, he said, Addie has given up the revolver. Promise not to rush the door, Addie was saying. Don't push a winning game too far. Give a man a chance. You go back to the house. I tell you flatly, I will not promise anything. Addie's decision seemed suddenly made. He turned towards the house, walking slowly with his hands behind him. Kemp watched him, puzzled. The revolver vanished, flashed again into sight, vanished again, and became evident on a closer scrutiny as a little dark object following Addie. Then things happened very quickly. Addie leapt backwards, swung around, clutched at this little object, missed it, threw up his hands, and fell forward on his face, leaving a little puff of blue in the air. Kemp did not hear the sound of the shot. Addie writhed and raised himself on one arm, fell forward and lay still. For a space, Kemp remained staring at the quiet carelessness of Addie's attitude. The afternoon was very hot and still. Nothing seemed stirring in all the world, save a couple of butterflies chasing each other through the shrubbery between the house and the road gate. Addie lay on the lawn near the gate. The blinds of all the villas down the hill road were drawn. But in one little green summer house was a white figure, apparently an old man asleep. Kemp scrutinized the surroundings of the house for a glimpse of the revolver, but it had vanished. His eyes came back to Adia. The game was opening well. Then came a ringing and knocking at the front door that grew at last tumultuous. But pursuant to Kemp's instructions, the servants had locked themselves into their rooms. This was followed by a silence. Kemp sat listening, and then began peering cautiously out of the 3 windows, one after another. He went to the staircase head and stood listening uneasily. He armed himself with his bedroom poker and went to examine the interior fastenings of the ground floor windows again. Everything was safe and quiet. He returned to the belvedere. Adia lay motionless over the edge of the gravel, just as he had fallen. Coming along the road by the villas were the housemaid and the 2 policemen. Everything was deadly still. The 3 people seemed very slow in approaching. He wondered what his antagonist was doing. He started. There was a smash from below. He hesitated and went downstairs again. Suddenly, the house resounded with heavy blows and the splintering of wood. He heard a smash and the destructive clang of the iron fastenings of the shutters. He turned the key and opened the kitchen door. As he did so, the shutters split and, splintering, came flying inward. He stood aghast. The window frame, save for one crossbar, was still intact, but only little teeth of glass remained in the frame. The shutters had been driven in with an axe, and now the axe was descending in sweeping blows upon the window frame and the iron bars defending it. Then suddenly it leapt aside and vanished. He saw the revolver on the path outside, and then the little weapon sprang into the air. He dodged back. The revolver cracked just too late, and a splinter from the edge of the closing door flashed over his head. He slammed and locked the door, and as he stood outside he heard Griffin shouting and laughing. Then the blows of the axe with its splitting and smashing consequences were resumed. Kemp stood in the passage trying to think. In a moment the invisible man would be in the kitchen. This door would not keep him a moment and then. A ringing came at the front door again. It would be the policeman. He ran into the hall, put up the chain, and drew the bolts. He made the girl speak before he dropped the chain, and the 3 people blundered into the house in a heap, and Kemp slammed the door again. "The invisible man," said Kemp. "He has a revolver with 2 shots left. He's killed Adia. Shot him anyhow. Didn't you see him on the lawn? He's lying there." "Who?" said one of the policemen. "Adia," said Kemp. "We came in the back way," said the girl. "What's that smashing?" asked one of the policemen. "He's in the kitchen, or he will be. He has found an axe." We'll go ahead and stop there for this week. As usual, I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.